Scene opens on a chaotic primordial Earth. Vast, fiery landscapes are dominated by erupting volcanoes spewing smoke and lava into a dark, stormy sky. Lightning cracks constantly, illuminating the scene in brief, violent flashes. 4.5 billion years ago, our world was a place of unimaginable violence. A searing, molten sphere cooling in the blackness of space. Volcanoes raged, choking the atmosphere with toxic gases. The sky, a canvas of eternal storm, was ripped apart by colossal bolts of lightning. This was not a cradle for life. It was an anvil where the very elements of our planet were being forged in fire and fury. Close-up shot of a volcano spewing molten rock. The camera pans down to a boiling, turbulent ocean, brown and thick with sediment crashing against jagged black rocks. The lightning strikes continue, hitting the surface of the water. The young oceans were not the tranquil blue we know today. They were a boiling primordial soup, a chemical cauldron heated from below by the planet's molten core and bombarded from above by relentless electrical storms. Water, methane, ammonia, hydrogen, the raw ingredients for something new, something unprecedented, were being churned in this planetary crucible. Every lightning strike was a jolt of pure energy, a catalyst in the greatest chemical experiment in history. The camera dives beneath the surface of the chaotic ocean. The water is murky, but we see microscopic bubbles forming around hydrothermal vents on the seafloor. Animated graphics show molecules linking together, forming chains. Deep beneath the waves, in the crushing dark, another force was at work. Hydrothermal vents, chimneys on the ocean floor, spewed superheated, mineral-rich water from the Earth's heart. In this extreme environment, a miracle was beginning to unfold. Simple molecules, energized by the planet's internal heat and the electricity from the skies, began to link. They formed complex chains, the fundamental building blocks of all living things. Amino acids. The first letters in the book of life were being written in the dark. The camera pulls back to show vast underwater landscapes. Tiny individual points of light begin to appear, glowing with a soft, ethereal bioluminescence. They are microscopic, single-celled organisms. They drift in immense colonies, creating faint, shimmering clouds in the deep. Then something shifted out of the chaos. A new kind of order emerged, a structure that could replicate, that could sustain itself. It was microscopic, fragile, yet it held a power that would reshape the entire planet. The first cells drifting in the abyss, these tiny organisms began to glow, a faint bioluminescence that pushed back against the eternal darkness. For the first time, the Earth was not just a rock. It was alive. These were our oldest ancestors, the pioneers of a biological revolution. Transitioned to a slightly later period, the underwater world is now more complex. We see strange plant-like fronds charnia waving in the currents and early jellyfish-like creatures pulsing with a soft inner light. The camera glides through this alien garden. For millions of years, life remained simple, a hidden kingdom thriving in the sea. But evolution is a relentless innovator, from those single cells, stranger. More complex forms began to appear. Creatures that defied imagination. They were animals, but not as we know them. Soft-bodied beings that anchored themselves to the seafloor, filtering the water for sustenance. Glowing drifters that pulsed through the water, the first predators in a world that had never known a hunter. The camera follows a larger, more menacing creature, perhaps an early trilobite or a more fearsome predator like an Anomalocaris. It moves with a strange alien grace, its large eyes scanning the dark. It is portrayed as a true sea monster of its time, powerful and mysterious. With predation came an arms race. Defenses evolved. Shells, spines, speed. The quiet gardens of the deep became a dynamic battleground. New, more terrifying shapes cut through the water. Early arthropods, the ancestors of insects and crustaceans, with segmented bodies and formidable claws. These were the first monsters of the deep, titans of their era, ruling the oceans long before the first dinosaur ever walked the land. The of creation was now met with the terror of the hunt. The dance of life and death had begun. Final shot. The camera pulls back slowly from the close-up of the sea monster through the glowing colonies of early life up through the turbulent ocean surface and out into space, showing the Earth as a living, breathing blue and white sphere against the blackness. One planet in an infinite cosmos, forged in fire, tempered by chaos. An impossible sequence of events, a chain of cosmic coincidences, gave rise to a single, self-replicating spark in the darkness. A spark that would ignite a chain reaction spanning billions of years, transforming a barren rock into a living world of breathtaking complexity. And wonder, from a single spark, life began.